What's up? This is Release Rotation. I'm your host, John W. Snyder. It is April 1st, 2019. April Fool's Day. Did you trick anyone? Did you get tricked? What happened today? I saw all kinds of stuff on Twitter. It was ridiculous how much April Fool's jokes there were that I may or may not have believed, even though I knew it was April Fool's. So, another day is what it is. So this is episode 65 of this podcast. And thank you all for listening, those of you who do listen. And those of you who don't listen, you're all a bunch of jerks. You're not going to hear it anyways, because you don't listen. Something I was thinking about, because just thinking of the Thunder, and first off, what a horrendous last, I don't know how many weeks, 6 weeks maybe, 5 weeks they've had. After the All-Star break, third place, looking good, and then just, I don't know what happened. And now they're in 8th place. And they're going to probably finish in 8th. They're going to play the Warriors. Warriors in the first round, or the Bucks? We'll see. I haven't looked at the standings. Only standings I saw or even cared about were the Thunder as an 8 seed, because they got to play a 1 seed. That's not fun for anybody. And so, looking at that, what's going on? Why? Do players not want to play for Billy Donovan? Is it just one of those weird slides that has happened? I don't know, and I don't know if anyone has an answer. I think everyone's a little perplexed. That's a Thunder fan that is in the Oklahoma City media, or someone who covers the Thunder. I just don't get it. How you go from 3rd to 8th. I mean, I know the West is tight and it's tough. And just interesting, too, how they swept the Blazers in the regular season 4-0. Then they got swept by the Nuggets 0-4. I just don't get it. And then they lost the other night to the Dallas Mavs in Oklahoma City. It makes zero sense. I try to wrap my head around it, but I can't. And you try to figure out if it's coaching, front office, players, what's going on. And, I think Sam Presti has done an amazing job, considering the fact that, didn't keep Harden, and then KD walked away, but was able to get Westbrook to stay in Oklahoma City, who then was able to get Paul George to stay in Oklahoma City, which is phenomenal and amazing. But I don't know. And the thing it brings up for me with Billy Donovan, I mean, he coached college basketball for so long. And, this is his 4th season with the Thunder. Can he not relate to NBA players? I mean, I don't know if that's the case. Does he coach them differently, or is he trying to coach them the same as he did when he was at Florida? And it's a question worth considering. Maybe he's not cut out for the NBA. And, maybe we should have known that when he was going to coach at Orlando, the Orlando Magic, and then he backed out 2 days later after accepting the job. That should have been maybe our first sign. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, he won 2 national championships at Florida, 3 Final Fours, 6 Elite Eights. I mean, he was there for 15 seasons and did phenomenal. back-to-back national champions. I mean, that's unheard of. Not many teams can do that. So he can coach. It's just, can he coach in the NBA? It's a different ball game for sure. And so it's just really interesting what's happening there. And then you look at different guys like, Quinn Snyder. Didn't do great at Missouri. I mean, he got them to an Elite Eight, which is the furthest ever that a Missouri Tiger basketball team had ever made it. And then he goes on he was an assistant with the Hawks and then becomes the Utah Jazz head coach. And the Jazz are pretty good. He's got them playing pretty good. And so, I don't know, it's still a experiment there, I guess. Will he ever win a championship in Utah? I mean, in the West, who knows? The West is the West. Probably not in the next bit because of the teams that are at the top right now. And until the Warriors dismantle or something happens there. But who knows? Barry Switzer. I know it's football, but won 3 national championships with the OU Sooners, and then goes and coaches the Dallas Cowboys, and I think he was there 3 seasons, and he won 1 Super Bowl. So I'd say he can coach. He can put together a staff. And football is different when you've got all these coordinators and all these coaches, and you've got to put that together. Basketball coaching is a little bit different. You've got some assistants, but Switzer was able to do it as a football coach. So, I don't know. Cliff Kingsbury, it's another experiment we're going to see unfold, which is just crazy that he went 35-40 at Texas Tech in the Big 12, gets let go, becomes the USC offensive coordinator for like a day, maybe. I don't even know if it was official. And then he becomes the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals in the NFL. I think that's the biggest head scratcher. And we won't know, and we might not find out if it's going to work because, I mean, how many seasons realistically are they going to give him? I think you have to give him at least 3. The Cardinals were the worst team last year. They're going to have the number 1 pick. But, I mean, you got to give him at least 3 years. That's what I think, to see what happens there. And so, I don't know. It just makes you wonder if, some coaches are built better for pros or not, Are they built for the pros? Are they equal or worse? And so it's just really interesting. I think Coach K would be an amazing NBA coach, but again, we'll never know. He's fine at Duke. Could Bill Self succeed in the NBA? Roy Williams? I mean, you would think so, but I feel like you would also think that about Billy Donovan, And don't get me wrong, Billy Donovan, they've gotten to the playoffs, but I don't know. I don't know if Billy Donovan is the answer in Oklahoma City. I mean, you've got the players. I don't know who comes up with the game plan. But, it's just interesting seeing coaches go from college to the pros to see how they would succeed. I think of other football coaches. Nick Saban was at the Dolphins. Wasn't great. Would Bob Stoops have been good in the NFL? We'll never know, but it's just an interesting thing to think about. And I think it kind of goes in the same hand as, I think some people are built for and made to be assistant coaches, and they should never be head coaches. That's how I felt about Sean Sutton. I thought Sean Sutton was an amazing assistant coach, and he still is, obviously. He had his struggles in Stillwater, but he's an amazing assistant and recruiter. He's an assistant coach on Texas Tech's basketball team, and they made it to the Final Four. Some people are built to be the number ones, and then some are built to be the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. Not everyone can be a number one. Everyone thinks they can, but I don't think you'll be happy or content until you realize if you would be a good number one, or if you know, hey, I'm an amazing assistant, I'm going to stay an assistant coach. It makes me think about Brent Venables at Clemson. Defensive coordinator. He's happy. He could be a horrible head coach, or he could be an amazing head coach, but maybe he knows that he's built to be an assistant, built to be a defensive coordinator. That's kind of how I feel about it. I am 100% fine knowing I will never be a CEO because I'm not built that way. And I think head coaches are built a certain way, and I think assistant coaches are built a certain way. And I could be wrong. It's just an opinion I have about it. But I was an assistant basketball coach for a high school team, and then even for a junior high team. And I was comfortable as an assistant. I knew what I was doing as an assistant. I knew how to support the players as an assistant. And if I were still coaching, I would be content as an assistant coach. And so I think it's kind of the same thing with these guys in the NBA and college, or NFL and college. Why would Coach K leave Duke? Would make no sense to me at this point, which I think he knows that. He's not going to go to the NBA. So just some thoughts. I don't know. But it's interesting to think about. We'll be right back after this break. And we're back. So last week, I asked a question on Twitter, and then I asked on my podcast. And that question is, would you quit your current job to take a job that is your passion and a job you know you should be doing instead of the one you are currently doing for half the salary? That's the question I proposed last week. Would you take half your salary to quit your job and do a job that you love and that you're passionate about, if you're not already doing it? I got a lot of different answers. One of my friends, Hans, said that he would take a job he hates for more money, but to work less. Okay, I get it. And he was saying that so he could do more of the things that he loves, which is being with his family, hanging out, the free time, traveling, whatever it might be. I see that point. I like it. But I asked that question, I think, for myself, because I am the kind of person that if I'm going to go to work, I want to enjoy my work. And I do. I like my job I have now. No question. I have a great job. It's fun. I love the people I work with. And so my question I asked was probably more for myself. Would I take half of my salary to do something that I'm passionate about, something that I feel like I'm built for and made for? And the quick answer is yes. And I know it's not as easy as yes or no, but yes, I would take half my salary if the job was right. And for me, that would be something in sports journalism, whether it's television, radio, working for the Lakers or the Clippers, or, or something like that. It would have to be the right situation. But the short answer is yes, I would. So there you go. There you have it. So if you stuck around from last week and I told you I'd give you my answer this week, there it is. So, but like I said, it would have to be the right situation. And who knows, that may or may not ever happen. Because I do like my job now. It's fun. And so it's not like I'm going anywhere anytime soon. But I would, though, for the right job in sports journalism or sports, if it was a franchise or something, I would do that. So there you have it. This week, on Thursday, so this podcast, if you listen to it, you will probably hear it on Tuesday, April 2nd. On Thursday, April 4th, I will be 1 year away from turning the big 40. Some people say that's over the hill, which is crazy to me because double that is 80. And I feel like I've got an easy 50 more years in so I don't see it as over the hill. Especially, I just started this podcast for real in January of 2019 at 38 years old. I'm just getting started. If you've heard this before and you've heard me talk on this thing, I've said that this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. I'll be doing this podcast for the long haul because I enjoy it. I love talking about sports, and I also enjoy learning about the ins and outs of producing audio and podcasts like this because it's been a fun learning experience, and I've got some good takeaways, and I would love to be able to help other people get a podcast off the ground, get something started. That could be fun too in my spare time as a hobby. But right now, this is definitely a fun hobby for me. It's something I've needed to do, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep plugging along, and they're going to get better and better. I hope to tell some fun stories on here and some stories behind the stories. So you'll see and hear some more of that, and you'll hear some interviews. I'm close to getting some new equipment so I can get some interviews going. Later this year, I'm going to be going to Colorado with some of my best friends, and they want me to bring my stuff, my recording and equipment, and they want to record some podcasts up in Colorado, and I'm 100% behind it because it's going to be hilarious and fun, and it'll be a really good listen. I can guarantee you that with the guys that I'm friends with. But I appreciate you guys listening, hanging in there. It's a journey, and I'm on this journey. But back to my point about turning 40 this in a year from now, a little over a year from now, which is really hard to believe. Because I can remember my dad turned 40. It's weird. I don't remember when he turned 39, but I remember when he turned 40. But I also remember when he turned 40 because I was at his work, at his office. They had a work party for him when he turned 40, and at his office, I slid down this huge banister of stairs and fell, and they thought I broke both my wrists. Luckily, I just sprained them both really bad. Hilarious, but I hope my 40th birthday is that exciting a year from now. But man, I am looking forward to 39. It's going to be my last year in my 30s. And like I said, I'm just getting started on this thing. My kids are young, and I love hanging out with them, and they make me laugh every day. And 39 is going to be super, super fun. Thanks for joining me on this journey. We'll talk later.